As night settles in, you leave behind the steady hum of the day and step into a quieter world. The pace slows, and the edges of the evening soften. Outside, the last traces of daylight fade into twilight, and the familiar routines of the day begin to fall away. The conversations, the noise, the lists, and tasks, all of them drift further into the background until they become no more than distant echoes. Here, in this gentle in-between space, there is nothing pulling at your attention, nothing demanding a response. The world feels a little quieter, a little kinder, and the night stretches out before you, like a soft, unhurried invitation. This is a moment set apart, a moment where you don't need to be anywhere else, or anyone else, or anything more than exactly where and who you are. There is simply the calm of the evening, and the promise of rest that follows. As you move deeper into this quiet space, the day loosens its hold. Thoughts untangle. The night air settles around you like a comforting cloak, and you cross the threshold from walking into a softer realm, one made of stillness, warmth, and gentle imaginings. It is here that our story begins. The night is warm, the kind of summer evening that holds on to the day's heat, long after the sun has slipped below the horizon. The air carries the soft scent of honeysuckle and freshly watered grass, and the world feels unhurried, neither fully awake nor fully asleep, but resting in a peaceful in-between. You find yourself on a garden path where smooth stepping stones stretch out ahead in a gentle curve. The stones are cool beneath your feet, still holding the memory of the sun's warmth, and the evening breeze has begun. On either side of the path, tall grasses sway only slightly, as though even the wind is content to linger, rather than rush. In the quiet, crickets sing their steady chorus, a familiar soundtrack of summer nights. Their song rises and falls with an easy rhythm, joined now and then by the distant call of another night creature, an owl perhaps, or the whisper of leaves in the soft night air. Above, the sky is a deep, velvety blue. A scattering of stars has begun to reveal themselves, shimmering faintly between the swaying branches. Fireflies flicker near the edges of the path, blinking like tiny lanterns guiding your way forward. The stepping stones lead you deeper into the garden, toward a soft glow ahead. It's a gentle light, golden and warm, spilling out through the panes of a large greenhouse, nestled among the trees. From where you stand, it shines like a quiet refuge, waiting to be discovered, inviting you closer with its welcoming glow. The crickets continue their song, steady and calm, and the summer air wraps around you like a familiar embrace as you continue along the path and draw nearer to the lantern-lit greenhouse. As you approach, the greenhouse comes fully into view. It is larger than it first appeared from a distance. Tall glass walls arch upward into a gentle peak, framed by slender wooden beams that glow golden beneath the lantern light. Ivy climbs along the outer edges, its tendrils winding gracefully upward, tracing patterns against the glass as though nature and structure are entwined in peaceful harmony. When you reach the doorway, you notice the details: the old-fashioned iron handle, cool to the touch, the weathered wood of the door frame, and the faint reflection of lantern light shimmering across the glass panes. The door opens with a soft, welcoming creak, The moment you step inside, the air shifts, carrying with it the fragrance of lavender and the sweet, heady scent of roses. The aromas mingle gently, not overpowering, but inviting, warm, familiar. It is the unmistakable perfume of a herb and flower sanctuary, carefully tended and lovingly arranged. The stone floor beneath you is smooth and pleasantly warm, still holding the memory of the summer sun that poured through the glass. The warmth rises through the soles of your feet and into your body, grounding you with its soft, steady heat. Around you, rows of herbs and flowers stretch out in neat, thoughtful arrangements. Lavender bushes create soft purple borders, their blooms gently brushing against one another. Rosemary and sage form clusters of deep green, their leaves rustling faintly. Roses in shades of blush and cream climb trellises, their petals curling delicately in the lantern glow. Tucked into one corner of the greenhouse, half hidden behind trailing ivy and a curtain of delicate hanging vines, is a cozy sitting area. A wicker chair rests there, softened by cushions and a folded blanket, beside a small wooden table. The lantern on the table casts a warm pool of light over the chair, as though the space has been prepared for evening rest, or perhaps a quiet moment with a book and a steaming cup of tea. The greenhouse is quiet, gentle, alive with the muted presence of growing things. You step further inside, surrounded by lavender and roses, and let the door ease close behind you, leaving the summer night outside, and settling fully into the sanctuary of herbs, flowers, and light. You wander farther inside, letting the warm, stone floor guide your steps. The lantern light glows softly across the glass panes and casts long shadows among the herbs, making the leaves shimmer as though they were touched by starlight. You pause beside a row of lavender. The blooms brush lightly against your hand as you move past, their violet petals releasing more of their calming scent into the air. The lavender stalks sway with the smallest motion, and when your fingertips graze them, they feel cool and velvety, soft and yielding beneath your touch. Roses climb a nearby trellis, their blossoms open and full. You drift towards them, studying the delicate way their petals curl and overlap, each layer unfolding gently toward the center. One petal has fallen onto the stone floor, its blush color vivid against the pale surface. You lift it with care and place it beside the pot, as though returning it to the bloom it once belonged to. The herbs nearby offer their own quiet presence. You brush against a sprig of rosemary, and its rich, earthy scent blooms into the air, warm and familiar. Sage leaves rustle faintly as you pass. Their silvery green surface is soft and textured beneath your fingertips. Each step you take reveals more. Hanging baskets of chamomile with tiny white flowers nodding in the lantern light. Pots of basil releasing their sweet fragrance. Trailing ivy draped across wooden beams, overhead like nature's own garlands. You pause to adjust a small pot that has shifted slightly out of line. The motion is gentle, unhurried. There is no need for perfection, only care. The greenhouse seems to respond, its quiet presence settling around you even more warmly. It's a space that knows it's tended and appreciated. Soft shadows tremble across the floor. The lantern light flickers, You continue deeper into the greenhouse, moving towards the cozy corner nestled beneath the curling ivy. Here, a wicker chair awaits, its cushions plump and inviting, a blanket draped across its back. The lantern on the table beside it glows softly, illuminating a book left open, as though someone paused mid-sentence and stepped away only moments ago. The chair seems to beckon with its quiet comfort, offering rest after your gentle exploration. You pause there, taking in the space, surrounded by lavender, roses, and herbs, and breathe in the harmony of scent and stillness that fills the greenhouse. It is a sanctuary, peaceful, alive, and waiting, wrapped in the warmth of a summer night. You ease into the wicker chair, and it gives slightly beneath you, shaping itself comfortably to your form. The woven surface is smooth and familiar, and the cushions beneath are soft enough that the edges seem to disappear. When you pull the blanket across your lap, its fabric is warm and inviting, a gentle weight that adds to the sense of being held and sheltered within the greenhouse. The lantern on the small wooden table beside you flickers softly. Its golden light reflects across the glass panes and dances along the leaves and petals nearby, turning the lavender a deeper violet and making the rose blossoms glow faintly. In the quiet, you can hear the soft creaks of the lantern frame as the flame settles and steadies, casting slow-moving shadows across the stone floor. You notice the open book resting on the table. The pages are slightly curled at the corners, as though touched by many evenings of reading. A sprig of dried lavender lies between the pages, marking a place. You brush a fingertip along the paper, feeling the slight texture beneath your skin, and imagine the stories tucked within its covers. Tales of gardens, or seasons, or quiet nights just like this one. The air in the greenhouse is warm. Holding the last heat of the day, it gently rises from the stone floor, pressing lightly against your feet and legs, grounding you in comfort. A soft breeze slips in through a cracked window high above, carrying with it the faint rustle of leaves from outside and the steady rhythm of nighttime insects, the crickets singing their unhurried song. From where you sit, you can see the full expanse of the greenhouse. The rows of herbs arranged with careful intention, the clusters of flowers in full bloom, the ivy that drapes and curls across the beams overhead like a canopy. The lantern light reveals it all in warm tones and gentle contrasts, turning the space into a sanctuary of growing things and soft shadows. You let your gaze wander slowly, tracing the shape of each plant, the glow of each lantern, the curve of each vine. There is no rush here, only stillness, warmth, and the quiet presence of the greenhouse around you, holding you in its peaceful embrace as the summer night deepens. You sit comfortably in the wicker chair, surrounded by the warmth of the greenhouse and the familiar fragrance of lavender and roses. The crickets outside continue their steady nighttime song, their rhythm blending into the soft hush of the summer air. For a while, nothing changes at all. The night simply continues. Then, so gently you almost miss it, a single drop of rain lands on the glass overhead. A soft tap, then another, and another. Not a rush, and not a storm, just the light, tentative beginning of summer rain. The droplets fall sparsely at first, spaced far apart, like someone testing the surface of a quiet pond with the tip of their finger. The rain leaves small trails on the glass, catching the lantern light. The rain slides slowly downward. The sound is delicate and irregular, almost playful, barely louder than a sigh. The world outside seems unchanged, warm, still, unhurried. Only now the gentle taps add a new note to the night, blending seamlessly with the crickets and the soft rustle of the leaves. The rain has begun, not in earnest, but in whispers, softening the edges of the summer evening. And inside the greenhouse, sheltered and warm, you listen as the droplets fall, calm, steady, and reassuring, like a lullaby written by the night itself. The raindrops continue their soft tapping on the glass, still gentle, but now a little more frequent, the rhythm becoming steadier, no longer scattered and tentative, but not yet insistent, just a light patter, a quiet conversation between rain and greenhouse. The droplets trace delicate paths downward, weaving trails that glimmer in the lantern light, before gathering at the edges of the panes. The sound remains soft, more like fingertips brushing a drum than any heavy fall. It settles into the night soundscape, blending with the crickets outside and the faint rustle of leaves swayed by the shifting breeze. Inside, the warmth of the greenhouse becomes even more noticeable. The contrast between the humid summer air within and the gentle coolness outside creates a cocoon of comfort, as though the space itself is holding the heat on your behalf. The herbs and flowers seem to lean into the moment. The lavender dances slightly beneath the soft vibrations of raindrops tapping on the roof. The roses hold small droplets along the tips of their petals, each one reflecting the lantern light like tiny jewels. The cozy corner where you sit feels even more inviting now, wrapped in warmth, softened by a blanket across your lap, and sheltered beneath the glass ceiling, where the rain's rhythm continues. There is no urgency in the rainfall, no wind, no storm, just a deepening patter, steady and delicate, like an embrace from the night. The summer rain remains gentle, adding to the quiet rather than breaking it, turning the greenhouse into a sanctuary of sound and stillness, where each drop enhances the peace that surrounds you. As the rain settles into its gentle rhythm on the glass above, you find yourself sinking a little deeper into the cushions of the wicker chair. The blanket rests warmly across your lap, its weight comforting without confining, and the lantern beside you casts a steady golden glow that softens every shadow. The greenhouse feels more magical now, as though the rain has drawn the night closer, wrapping the glass walls in a curtain of sound and shimmer. The crickets outside continue their slow, familiar chorus, their rhythm softened by the steady patter overhead. You let your gaze drift lazily across the greenhouse. The lavender sways ever so slightly. The roses hold pearls of water along the edges of their petals. Rosemary and sage release faint hints of their scent into the warm air, earthy, familiar, soothing. There's something deeply comforting about being here, in this sanctuary of growing things, while summer rain whispers beyond the glass. It's a place where thoughts can wander gently, neither sharp nor urgent, just slow, drifting reflections, like leaves carried on a quiet stream. You may find your mind returning to small moments, planting a seedling in the spring sun, brushing dirt from your hands, watching new leaves unfurl. Or perhaps you think of simple evenings spent in places like this, spaces filled with warmth, light, and the steady companionship of nature. There is no need for conclusions here, no need to reach decisions or answers, just the gentle comfort of memory and the soft presence of the greenhouse around you as the rain continues its patient, unhurried song. The world beyond feels distant now, its pace slowed, its demands muted, until it becomes little more than a silhouette beyond glass and ivy. And inside this shelter, you remain at ease, warm, secure, and surrounded by the life and light of the summer night. The rain continues on the glass, steady now, but never heavy. Each drop joins the next in an easy rhythm that settles into the background, soft, familiar, and endlessly patient. It's a sound you could listen to for hours without ever needing to follow it or think about it. The lantern light flickers once and steadies again, its glow warm and constant. Shadows shift across the plants, longer now, gentler, until the shapes of lavender and roses blur into a soft tapestry of color. The edges of the greenhouse seem to soften, too, as though night has begun to weave its own quiet spell across the glass. The warmth of the stone floor beneath your feet remains steady. The blanket is a calm weight across your lap, and the chair holds you in a familiar embrace, its shape molding to you, offering support without asking anything in return. Outside, the cricket song carries on, a slow and unwavering lullaby. Inside, the rain's rhythm mingles with the herb's gentle scent. And your thoughts, what few remain, begin to stretch and drift, not towards plans, not towards memories, but toward that soft expanse where thinking becomes feeling, and feeling becomes simply being. The greenhouse, once vivid, begins to soften around the edges, its details blurring into warmth and shadow, sound and scent, comfort and calm. You need not hold on to anything now, not even the story. It can carry you without effort, without direction, just as the summer rain carries the night. The world grows quieter still, the rhythm steadier, the sanctuary deeper, until there's only the hush of rain, the fragrance of lavender and roses, and the gentle warmth of the greenhouse around you as you drift, slowly, peacefully, into rest.